Hello! Right now we will go through all of the stages of rendering the scene 3ds Max. The first step that you need to do is to open your stage. After that, you have two ways how to complete the render of your scene. The first way is through the Turbo Render plugin using the Render app. And the second way is through the web interface in your account on the website. In this video, we will take a look at rendering through the web interface in your account on the website. In order for the render to be completed successfully, you must set the setting of the scene by going to the render settings. When rendering via V-Ray, you need to turn off the V-Ray frame buffer. To do so, on the V-Ray tab, go to the frame buffer and uncheck the Enable Built-in Frame Buffer. As well as that, in the Render Elements tab, in the Selected Elements Parameters field, you need to leave the space to save files empty. To calculate the animation sequence, select the frame range in the Common tab and specify the desired value. For render passes, it is necessary to complete the following. In the V-Ray settings, go to GI, then in the Primary Engine field, select Irradiance Map. It is necessary to set the mode Animation, Prepass, and leave the checkboxes. Don't delete and autosave enabled. Important: the autosave line should contain only the file name, without specifying the local drives and folders. In the mode stated above, the final image is not calculated. To calculate the entire animation, taking into account the received or existing light maps, it is necessary to set the animation rendering mode. Maps should already be placed in your archive. To render the scene with a calculated light map that was obtained in the multi-frame incremental mode, you need to switch the mode to From File and select the appropriate light map. After that, delete the path to the file, leaving only the name of the map. If you are using Corona Render, you need to set Pass Limit in the Scene tab in the Progressive Rendering Limits field. To render a scene on the render farm, you must create an archive with all the scene resources. Before you archive your scene, you need to check the name of the scene and the camera so that it contains only Latin letters and numbers. After you have checked the title, you need to save the archive of your scene. To do so, click File, Save As, Archive. 3ds Max will gather your scene with all of the involved files, and it will save the archive. A dialog box opens up where you need to select the folder and specify the archive name. After that, the system window will open up where once it closes, the archive will be ready. Or you can use the built-in utility to collect the Resource Collector archive. To do so, go to Utilities, click on the More button, and select Resource Collector from the list. Specify the folder where you want to save the archive. Select with check marks the collection of materials, adding scenes, pack into the archive, and update the materials. Then click on the Start button. The system window will open up where once it closes, the archive will be ready. After that, you need to go to your personal account on farm.turborender.com. At the top, click on the New Task button. The software selection menu will open up and you need to click on the 3ds Max. The task creation window opened up. Here you can check if there is a plugin that you used in the scene and fonts if you used them. Now you need to select the archive with your project. Pay attention that if your archive is more than 10 gigabytes, you need to upload new archive via FTP Manager and then click Select the downloaded file. We recommend using FileZilla, which is a free FTP client. Host for connection, ftp.turborender.com. Username and password, same as when registering on the website. If your archive is less than 10 gigabytes, you can safely select it directly from your computer by clicking Upload New Archive. Now you need to specify the scene render settings. Please note that the fields marked with an asterisk are required. The first thing you need is to specify the name of the task. Set the required number of servers, for example, 10 for the sequence and 1 to 5 for one image. We recommend to choose based on the complexity of the scene. The more complex, the more servers. On our channel, you can find more detailed instructions on how to choose the number of servers to render. After that, you need to specify the scene name. The scene name is the name of the 3ds Max file with an extension, such as room.max. Specify the range of frames or the number of one frame. Frames can be specified with a dash and a comma. Choose which plugin to render with. Turn on Ignore Errors if you have missing content in your scene. If you have used multiple cameras in a scene and you need to get a result from a specific camera, specify its name. Select the name of the rendered file and the format in which you want to receive the file. If you gave the task in the project for non-standard gamma setting, set the gamma correction so that the results do not differ from the expected. In the additional parameters, if it is necessary, you set the size of the finished image and the frame step, which means that you can render through 2, 3, 5, and so on steps. If it is required, specify the output file parameters, specifying the image quality and smoothing, as well as that if you have chosen the format of the finished file TGA, TIFF, EXR, set additional settings for them. As soon as you fill in all the required fields, click on the Run Render button. The load of your project to the farm has begun. If something went wrong, please contact the technical support group. As soon as the scene has loaded onto the render, a notification on personal account will show up that your project went to the render, and the task will appear in the list. To view the full information, you need to click on the task name. A window with detailed information about the task has opened up in front of you. In the tasks window, you can see the task ID for the technical support group, task status, cost, as well as the parameters with which you run the scene on the render. Which servers render your scene and how many of them. Here you can find the log files of each server in case something goes wrong. You can go to the Tasks section. You will see a full list of your tasks. The status of the active task changes automatically. As soon as the render is over, the farm will pack the resulting files in the archive and create a link to download. You only have to click on the Download Files button and wait for the archive to download. Note that the finished files are deleted after 14 days. If you have any questions or you encounter difficulties during the render, you can write our technical support group a letter by visiting the website turborender.com or in your account. They will always help you out.